You're listening to the Doc Lounge podcast. This is a place for candid healthcare conversations with physician recruitment industry's top executives and thought leaders. This podcast is made possible by Pacific Companies, your trusted advisor in physician recruitment. My name is Summer Gilbert, and I am the Director of Marketing and Branding here at Pacific Companies. So I am here today with our reigning most improved recruiter and our self-appointed Mail King. Why do they call you Mail King, Teddy?
Why do they call me the Mail King? Well, one of the many resources that we here at Pacific Companies use to advertise our jobs is direct mail. So for some reason, I've been really fortunate to have recruited my last 6 out of 7 doctors through our direct mail ad campaigns, which is pretty awesome. So, yeah, I guess that's why they call me the Mail King.
What do you think it is about the mail that is killing it for you?
Well, I think once we redid our postcard with your help and went to a less busier card.
What do you mean by that? Like less pictures and clear?
Well, yeah, before we used to use, a lot of, I guess, unnecessary overselling verbiage and too many pictures where it was almost like a busy collage that you couldn't really understand what was going on. To now we've limited it to 5 pictures, but the way that they're placed, with the larger picture, it essentially tells a story of where they're going, and then the remaining 4 pictures are kind of like a verb, I guess, or they kind of are an adjective. They really highlight that one big picture. It tells a story. If you do it right, it tells a story. Sometimes. So I think with your help, we've been able to hit the mark for whatever reason.
Yeah. Wow. That's great. And tell me, I know this year you got most improved, and what was that all about? What did that take?
Well, I attribute it to a lot of things. I had a really dismal 2017, I can admit it. But I learned a lot from it. One of the things I really took away from 2017 is I don't know it all, and I can't do it all by myself. The culture here at Pacific Companies is we all win together and we all lose together. It's awesome. But what's cool is Pacific Companies, the people that you seek advice from, they'd rather remain behind the curtain, and they want you to take all the glory. I don't know if that makes any sense. I attribute it to a football game where that the running back and the quarterback and everybody takes the ball up the field 99 yards, and they let me run it in for the touchdown, and who gets all the glory is the person who scored the touchdown. So
I like that analogy.
That's Chris Call. That's the king. But yeah, so that's the thing I can attribute it to, is just asking for help and asking for more help. And even though I think I know the answer, getting them to reiterate that, yeah, that's the right answer. I've gotten used to it, and so it's just become part of my repertoire now. I don't even think it's just part of how I recruit. I ask for help all the time. It
sounds like you just kind of leave yourself open to absorb new things every day, learning from your coworkers, from the managers, directors, everything.
Absolutely. There's so much quality experience here, and we have literally an open door policy where our VPs and, COO, CEO, they don't close their doors. We can walk in there anytime we want and talk to them. So those are the people with the most experience and the most stories to tell.
Mm-hmm.
And why not? Why would you not use that? It's like having an encyclopedia and choosing just to kind of wing it. Why wouldn't you just get the right information?
Yeah.
And
that's the cool thing that attracted me to Pacific Companies is the history here. Like, we've been around for over 20 years, and same ownership, and our leaders are industry veterans, and their knowledge is so vast. It's like there's no end. It's really cool.
I mean, that's what I don't want to get into all my job, let in how old I am, but I've been doing this for a while, and Pacific Companies to me just encompasses Pacific Companies. So
say that 5 times real fast.
Companies. I know. Pacific Companies encompasses, to me, everything that a physician recruiting firm should be, from leadership to, like I said, when we fall, we all fall together, and when we win, we all win together. It makes it fun. It's a really fun place to work. Literally, it's too much fun sometimes.
What got you into recruiting?
I graduated from college in 2006. 2006 was my first job was with Interscope Records, because I didn't want to be a rock star, but wanted to be in the music industry. That didn't last very long. I just realized it wasn't for me. So just started out in general sales positions and did that.
Excuse me. Can you just sing us a note, or just kind of?
I play guitar.
Okay.
What do you? I mean,
I didn't know if maybe you had any vocal. That's the kind of part of the industry you wanted to go in.
Guitar and drums were my.
Okay.
I can't sing and I can't dance, literally, and that could be another topic.
All right.
But anyway, was doing sales, general sales, for about 7 years, and once I got married and started a family, being out on the road and driving around door to door just wasn't for me anymore. And so I got approached for this whole physician recruitment thing, which I'd never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. I didn't know. I mean, you just assumed that hospitals called doctors, and that's how doctors came to work for them. I didn't know there was this mammoth of an industry of physician recruitment. So came and tried it, and it was, it was very hard in the beginning, because it's learning a new language.
Oh, fully.
that you've never known, and you have to try to act fluent in it. So, but yeah, once I figured it out, I never looked back. So I'm going on 7 years, and I'm not looking back. I'm not going anywhere. I love it. It's money's good, people are great, company's great.
Yeah.
You're all right.
Thank you. You know what the cool thing, I'm obviously not a recruiter, but listening to all the stories and relationships that you guys build with physicians I'm jealous of. Like, I mean, you get physicians that move across the country and it changes their lives and they've never been so happy. And do you have any stories like that just really affected you?
Yeah, I have a couple. I have a few. Let's see. and I won't name names and specifics as far as all that goes, but so this was actually pretty recent, so been working with a doctor who was a direct mail response for one of my flyers. He actually interviewed with the client that he responded to, and it just wasn't a fit. Professionally, it was a fit, but organizationally, it just wasn't a match. So I just kept him on my radar, and when I had other positions that I thought would be a fit for him, I would, try to send him his way. If I had colleagues that had a position that I thought would be a good fit for him, I'd send him their way. And I got a new client that was surprisingly looking for what he did. And literally on my drive home back to the airport, I called him and I just said, dude, I found your job and you're coming here. It was really so he was a little skeptical because the job he signed up for didn't work out and whatnot, but he came, he interviewed, and I just, even before he interviewed, he landed, and his text message to me was, "This is home." That was his text message to me. Yeah, it was really cool. And the interview just couldn't have went better. And, he signed on the spot, and client couldn't be happier. I mean, this was a position they'd had open for years. Didn't think they'd be able to fill it. And literally, I just felt the perfect candidate. And I think that we have a lot of jobs, and it's just the reality of, maybe not the most desirable locations. Nothing is perfect, but there is a perfect candidate out there for every job we have. You just got to find them, So, yeah, knock on wood, I haven't had anything catastrophic happen as far as a, doctor leaving within a, coming and turning around and leaving. But yeah, if you do the work and do all the heavy lifting up front, it's usually a pretty smooth close.
And it's not just the doctor; it's the family, the wife. I mean, you're uplifting the whole entire.
Yeah. So this job is so unpredictable and fun. When I was doing, business to business sales, you're selling widgets. So if somebody wants to buy your widget and it's the right price, they buy your widget. With what we do here, I consider myself, for most part, I'm just a voice on the other side of a line, right? On the other end of a phone. So we have to, with our words and by going out to these locations and really studying them, and, we essentially paint a picture for these doctors over the phone with our words and our verbiage. And that's how we get that. We're selling a dream, and you have to paint that dream with the best words, truthful words, and that's how we get successful. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
it's a very personal touch because it's such an intimate process. The physician really needs to feel like they can trust you.
Totally.
Well, Teddy, what would you say to someone who's thinking about becoming a physician recruiter?
What would I say? That it's as fun of a job as it is, it's a challenge. When you think about Hall of Fame baseball players, they just have to bat at least 300 to be considered great at what they do, which is, if you think about it, that's getting 3 hits for every 10 at bats. That's not a whole lot, And in this business, you just have to be comfortable with hearing no and not taking it personally. And believe me, that's been a hump I've still yet to completely get over. I'm getting better at it, but it used to crush me when doctors would hang up on me or tell me to get a life, or why am I calling them so much? And so you gotta have thick skin, but know that there's a process and a recipe for success, and if you follow it, you're gonna be successful. It's like, but if you, I don't know why I'm using all these analogies, but if you have a recipe for cookies and you're supposed to use salted butter and all you have is unsalted butter, the cookies probably aren't going to taste the same. You got to follow the recipe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think a big thing that I notice here is that a lot of the recruiters really believe in what they're doing. Like, they believe it's making a difference and creating change, and that confidence just makes them bounce back really quick from rejection.
But that's all in your surroundings and where we work.
Yeah.
So, Gary, John Palk, Chris Call, David Rubio, Deanie, they just, I think, have created such a culture here where I don't know, they've just created, the culture's so great here. I think you're not afraid to lose. When you're afraid to lose in sales, the people you're trying to sell to are going to pick up on that like sharks, and you're not going to succeed. But when you go into it with if I lose, so what attitude, because my team supports me, you seem to be more successful, I think.
Well, thank you so much, Teddy, for taking some time away from your busy day to chat with me.
Thank you.
And we'll definitely have you back on the podcast again, hopefully playing your guitar and drums. Maybe you can help me we could do the intro song.
We can do the guitar. We can do a guitar.
Record it live at the PC studio.
Do it. I think that'd be...
Cool.
I can do that. We can do that.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. And if you would like to find Teddy, go to pacificcompanies.com, call our number, and ask for Teddy. Thank you to all our listeners. If you'd like to be notified when new episodes air, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And thank you to Pacific Companies. Without you guys, this podcast would not be possible. If you'd like to be a guest or for more information, go to www.pacificcompanies.com.